Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Simon Moran, the Chief Commercial Officer from Yoyo Wallet. Yoyo is a 4-year-old startup organization, Series B funded and based entirely right here in London. We're officially the largest and fastest growing loyalty, data, and digital marketing platform in EMEA. And that growth is based on a core technology of a proprietary platform that enables hyper-personalized communications digitally to consumers, and line item detail being passed in the message from an EPOS system. So we are currently live in more than 2,000 UK and Ireland locations. We process more than 2 million transactions a month for our nearly 1 million active consumers. Now, as you know, payments and loyalty have really not evolved in a long time. PSD2 and open banking really brings the opportunity for retailers and banks to change the way that they communicate with and provide services to their consumer bases. Now, partnering with Yoyo gives banks, in particular, the opportunity to bring to market-leading and brand-new loyalty and data-driven applications in a fraction of the time and investment of traditional ways to do that. Now, what we're live with today is one of a whole range of different functionalities, but right now we have an API integration with Starling Bank, and that integration enables us that when a Starling Bank consumer uses their regular payment card in a Yoyo location, that data is passed from the EPOS system, matched in our back end, and we can, in real time, allocate loyalty points and rewards to that user without the need, crucially, for a separate app or loyalty card, which is normally used in that type of situation. Today, we're here with a world-first demonstration of the next iteration of that innovation, which is PSD2 and open banking compliant, which enables actual full line item detail to be passed from the transaction, where only facilitated with the traditional bank card of the user. Now, that is then matched in our back end, and again, loyalty points and the whole range of digital marketing and data-driven services provided by Yoyo to retailers already can be made available to banks. Now, at this point, I'd like to hand over to my colleague, Dave Nicholson, for a world-first live demonstration.
Thanks, Simon. So the first thing we want to show everybody is the Yoyo app. And I think what we want to show is the current state of the app. So if you notice on that screen there from Caffè Nero, we've got 4 vouchers for Caffè Nero and 7 stamps. So keep those numbers in mind, and we're going to show those changing. Now, we've already linked this Yoyo account to my Starling Bank account, so that means we get all the card transactions through. So now we're ready to go. We've actually got a third member of our team doing this demo today, and he's called Sach. Hey, Sach, are you there?
Hi, Dave.
Hey. Can you go ahead and maybe buy me a flat white in Caffè Nero, thank you?
Sure.
Thank you very much. So, Sach is now going to go and use actually my debit card, so I'm hoping he's a pretty trustworthy guy, to purchase a flat white in a Caffè Nero store in central London. And what we should see come through on the screen of the phone is a Starling Bank notification for the debit card, and then some notification from Yoyo to say that that match has happened. So what's going on the back end there is that because we've linked that account, and there's the Starling notification, we're able to see all the card transaction information on every single card transaction that happens. And that includes things like the last 4 digits of the card, the authorization code, and obviously the amount of the transaction. Because of our EPOS API transaction, we can also see all the transaction data from the till, which includes the line item data that Simon referred to. When we see a debit card transaction happening at a Yoyo retailer, we then go and look at all of those EPOS transactions to actually find the right one, and we can then match the 2 things behind the scenes. Now, you can see that that notification's come through. So, Sach, thank you very much. Enjoy your coffee, and I'll talk to you later. So what we can now do is we can tap on that and see that we've earned 2 stamps at Caffè Nero. So that's kind of interesting, because we only bought 1 coffee. So why do we buy 2? Why do we get 2 stamps? So if I look at the activity feed, what we actually see is we got a Finovate bonus stamp. So great news. And that's actually because we've set up a segment of users, which is just me right now. That means that I will get a bonus stamp for every coffee I purchase at Caffè Nero. We can also see that we've earned a free item, and we'll come and have a look at that in a second. So I'll back out of here and back into the Caffè Nero space. So you can see that now we have 5 vouchers and 0 stamps. So that's fantastic. So I got my free voucher, my free coffee from Caffè Nero. So I got a new blank stamp card, and I got a new voucher. But let's go down to the activity feed. And what we can do here is we can see this last transaction for £2.65 is the transaction that Sach just carried out with the debit card in Caffè Nero. If I tap into that, what will happen is that we'll get a detailed transaction view coming up. And we can see that that £2.65 item is actually for the flat white that Satch just purchased in the Good Street Cafe Nero store. And we can see that that was paid using Starling. Now, this is a fully exportable VAT receipt. So if I want to, I can now export that as a PDF, as a CSV file, or whatever. So that's a completely legitimate itemized receipt off the back of a debit card transaction in real time. Now, the other thing we can do is look at that free item. So we've got a fully stamped voucher. We've got a fully stamped card here. And what I might do is actually just send that to Satch as a thank you. So this is some new functionality we've also released recently. So I can now share vouchers to my friends, and they can receive them, and then they can transact with those as well. So that's pretty impressive, we think. We think that's, as Simon said, a world first for a real-time loyalty being awarded off the back of a contactless debit. But it's not just contactless. It will also work with Apple Pay, work with chip and pin, obviously, Android Pay. So any form of payment with that bank account would work. But actually, we haven't stopped there. So because we have that data, we can now do more things with it. So we can push that back into Starling. So this is my Starling bank account. And what we find is we'll go in here, have a look at the transactions. That 265 is the most recent one we just did. We can look into that, and we can see the itemized receipt has also been pushed back to the Starling bank account. And with that, I'll pass back to Simon.
Thanks, Dave, and obviously thanks, Satch. So I'm hopeful that all of you in the auditorium can see the huge potential for this type of technology, and that is a world first. I think we should pause on that for a second because I've been in payments a long time, and it needs always a separate app or a separate card to facilitate loyalty for retailers and banks, however you're doing that. This is what we're saying is here, your customers, your cardholders can use their traditional card and get all of their loyalty. We're already partnering with Visa and several banks, and we're really looking forward to speaking to more of you outside of the auditorium today. If you haven't already, I'm offering everybody a free Cafe Nero coffee if they come and visit me at the stand. Thank you.